Hey everyone, how's it going today? And welcome back to another fourth stimulus check unemployment benefits extension update. So today's update, I really just want to talk about what's been going on in the world of the fourth stimulus check negotiations, because you might have heard already a lot of different news that have been kind of popping up about like a $2,000 check, a $1,000 check, an infrastructure plan, and kind of wondering like what exactly has been going on in that world. Because the story right now is that there are actually technically several fourth stimulus proposals that are actually being placed right now, which is the really great thing, because it does mean that it may actually very much end up being a possibility. But in today's update, I really just want to talk about all of the different individual proposals, so hopefully it kind of clarifies the details about what's been going on. I also want to talk about a potential fourth stimulus program, a couple of fourth stimulus programs that have actually already been approved actually right now, that some of you guys may actually be getting a fourth stimulus check very soon, actually, interestingly enough. The only reason why it's not as publicly publicized right now is really just there's a lot of programs that's happening right now that's on the very under the radar low key, and the only reason it's not as big all over the news is really just because some of these programs are either very state specific or very case specific. So in other words, is that they're programs that can, at the end of the day, I think, if they're able to put several $100s in our pocket, I think that's what we probably all care about at the end of the day. But that's what today's video is going to be about, so you guys can maybe find out. So we're going to talk all about those programs, including some approved programs, some proposals. But as always, before we begin, maybe consider smashing the like button, the fact that we at least have the third stimulus check to be able to work with, and at least lots of proposals popping up, so lots of progress that's being made there. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification button if you guys are interested in videos similar to this, and also so you guys can especially learn about any potential under the radar checks, which we're going to already talk about some today. And as always, feel free to comment any questions, thoughts about honestly just really anything at all. Always great to say hi to new and familiar faces. So with that being said, we're just going to get started right on the spot. So right now at this current time is that there are several fourth stimulus proposals going on right now. Probably the biggest one that you really have to know about is that there's one that doesn't really technically have a name, but I guess you can call it, it's more of like the letter to Biden fourth stimulus. Basically, the story behind that proposal is that there was a group of senators inside of Congress, I believe Elizabeth Warren and Wyden, and the general idea is that they pretty much put together a letter right around when Joe Biden was trying to release his infrastructure plan, and he's hoping to try to create some kind of plan to create a potential fourth stimulus check. I think I did make a video about that, which I also put at the end screen. It's physically the one I think called $2,000 checks, and it shows the physical letter if you guys are interested in possibly reading about what that currently involves. I won't talk as much about it because it was already kind of talked about in that video. There is another stimulus proposal that was kind of written by 21 senators now. Now, this proposal is really about trying to do an attachment to Biden's plan. The general idea is that they're hoping to try to insert inside of Biden's infrastructure plan right now a possible chance to include stimulus checks inside of that plan so that they can hopefully try to approve the entire thing altogether. There is also technically a third proposal now, which is basically Biden's infrastructure plan. That proposal technically does not have stimulus checks, but at the end of the day, I think for a lot of people, it still counts as kind of a stimulus proposal, a fourth stimulus proposal, because even though there are no stimulus checks inside of that proposal, there are actually a lot of stimulus programs that at the end of the day could potentially put money inside of our pockets. And I think at the end of the day, most of us, that's probably what we care about, regardless of whether it comes in checks or unemployment or in childcare or just something like that. I think at the end of the day, for most of us, if there's a program that can make us richer, hopefully by, whether this is by a little bit or by a couple $1,000s, at the end of the day, it is something that still is intended and still does, accomplish helping to stimulate the economy like what a stimulus package is supposed to be meant to do. Now, there is also a fourth stimulus program that's kind of been going on right now in certain states. This one is a lot more under the radar, so not a lot of people are talking about this, but the general idea is that there are a lot of states that received a lot of state aid. As some of you guys probably know, is that a part of the stimulus package was to receive state aid, state and local government aid for state and local government. And so some of the states are trying to basically create their own individual state proposal. I know, for example, California recently, actually, they recently just created their own Golden State stimulus proposal that was already approved. So this is an actual program that some of you guys may potentially be getting a fourth stimulus check. Now, if you guys are in California, I made a video, I think like about a month ago, which I also put at the end screen. I think it's called $600 stimulus for anyone that's in California. It basically talks about a special stimulus program that's already been approved that some of you guys might be getting inside of California, and they're hoping to finally make deliveries on that stimulus check this week, actually. Interestingly, this week into next week, into the following week, basically right now, any day now, some of you guys may potentially be getting it. There are also, interestingly, a lot of states that are hoping to now try to create their own fourth stimulus check, but they haven't really announced as much information. If you guys are interested in maybe getting that information, maybe consider subscribing so we can hopefully share this, especially because it is very under the radar information. So most people that know about this, people really truly only know about this either through word of mouth. So maybe this is one area you guys can hopefully get word of mouth, or interestingly, just specifically from just being really observant on their state's website, because some states post this information on their website, but they don't really publicize it as much. So you kind of just have to dig deep in order to find it. I do know also there's a lot of states, including New York right now, that's actually trying to send out a plus-up payment. So some of you guys may even be getting a fourth stimulus check through that specific program. There's also a lot of states, basically the idea is that if you are someone that was underpaid for any of your first, second, or third stimulus package, but maybe something about your situation changed, the most perfect example, honestly, is, for example, like if you happen to have a child, if you happen to have a kid of some kind, if something about your financial situation changed, some of you guys may have actually been owed payments that might be getting a fourth stimulus makeup payment for that very, very soon. But the general idea is that it definitely exists, and it's definitely an approved part that some of you guys may have even already received, and some of you guys may hopefully potentially receive soon. But that's pretty much what I really just wanted to cover in today's update, so hopefully you guys found that relatively insightful. I do actually even know two other much more under the radar programs that are not as talked about. One you could even say is about the rental assistance program. If some of you guys are interested in maybe getting free rent, if you are from a high cost of living area, this could be talking about the difference of a couple $1,000s. There's a special $400 unemployment program that only applies to some people that's going on right now. I think only about 20 states are doing this right now. I'll also put a video at the very, very end screen about that. But the general idea is that there's a lot of things that are happening. But that's pretty much what I really just wanted to cover in today's update. If you guys found that relatively insightful, maybe consider smashing the like button, consider subscribing for similar videos like this, and also so you guys can find out about these much more subtle, low-key, under the radar, and also of course the mainstream programs like the giant federal ones as well. And feel free to comment any questions, thoughts, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay well, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much again.